30 seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
Dave Roberts can hardly watch. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Bueller. Got him swinging! That's it! It's a World Series win for LA! They've done it! They finished the job and give Los Angeles the parade it's been waiting for!
Stephen Nelson on Dodgers Radio. Go crazy, LA. Amazing, amazing moment, Perloff, for the Dodgers to win the World Series because of how they did it in a decisive Game 5, being down 5-0, finding and taking advantage of Yankee errors and showing a lot of grit, a lot of urgency. And this is a Dodger team for all time. This means so much to Dodger fans. To be they're going to say 2 World Series in 5 years, but we all know what's going on. This was the full season Dodgers championship. It was a sight to behold.
Yeah, it's so funny, too, because this is a team that spent a lot of money on baseball teams, and that's not the story. This is more of a resilience team. So many things went wrong this year. They had so many injuries. And the fact that they were down 5-0, we were actually on the phone doing our pre-production call. And I think all three of us, you, me, and EJ, thought, oh, this is going back to LA. And I was already imagining the scenario. How would they deal with the pressure of losing, 2 games in a row? But I think we saw last night, they dealt with the pressure. Being down 5-0 didn't seem to really take them out of it mentally. And that, to me, is really impressive. Be down 5-0, I would have already been looking ahead to Game 6.
No, instead, with a disastrous 5th inning for the New York Yankees, we'll get into all of that and the Yankees' role they played in letting the Dodgers back into this game. Because I think you're right. I think there was a world where Jack Flaherty, their starting pitcher, gets chased after 35 pitches. And maybe you're wondering, all right, maybe tonight's not our night and we'll win this thing back in Los Angeles. And the fact that the Yankees cracked the door open for the Dodgers, and not only did they take advantage of it, then the entire thing shifted after the 5th inning. Then they went to every high leverage pitcher that they had. They brought Walker Bueller back into the game to finish things out. Blake Trinan was amazing. And they put their foot on the throat of the Yankees. And the Yankees, all they could do, and listen, the Yankees eventually, took the lead on a Giancarlo Stanton hit. What else is new? But the fact that they beat the Yankees in this way, and they were the more fundamentally sound team, and just saw the moment, the avenue, and took it and never looked back. The Yankees never showed that kind of urgency.
No, I mean, right, like this was the game the Yankees started to figure it out. The fact that we finally got Judge hitting, and the irony of that he had trouble in the field. One great play in the field, one obviously terrible error. But it looked like the Yankees were back.
Yep.
Right. You had Judge in the middle of the lineup being a major, major presence. And listen, Maggie, I know the story is going to be the errors. But part of me wonders, well, what if we'd had this Judge all playoffs long?
Ifs and nuts were candy.
I know. I just think that
butts are candy and nuts. Perloff, every day would be Christmas.
Yeah, it just felt like, whoa, this is a different team with that guy out there. But I guess at the end of the day, it's not a different team because they lost.
It's not. And again, to the victor goes the spoils. This is all about the LA Dodgers today, and they're celebrating. How long do you think they stay in New York before they head back to LA? Are they on a flight already?
The parade's Friday, I heard. So tomorrow. So
you party all night in New York and then get on a plane tomorrow, probably? Sounds
yeah, I don't know. I would love to have that problem.
Yeah, amazing moment. And, feel great for the Dodgers and their fans. Feel great for Freddie Freeman when he says it's been a crazy year. We've got some Freddie Freeman sound, right? Ryan, let's play a little Freddie Freeman on his thoughts on the World Series.
This is everything. I'm telling you, I wouldn't be here without the support of everybody in these shirts tonight. it's been a grind these last 3 months, but this organization, Stan, Andrew, Brandon, Doc, my teammates, my family, it's been a lot, and this is it right here. Not this, that one. That's what it's about. That's what it's about.
You can hear it in their voices, the emotion for Freddie Freeman. I mean, a very difficult year for him, at an obviously successful year, but his young son getting diagnosed with Guillain-Barré and his family having to deal with that, him having to step away from the team for a time and them rallying around him. It's kind of storybook.
We forgot how hurt he was just 10 days ago.
I know.
He was limping around the base. You know what a key play was? Remember when he ran out that fielder's choice?
Yes.
That was, to me, like that's the kind of little play, regardless of the payroll, the Dodgers made the little plays, like a scrappy team, where the Yankees were the opposite. They couldn't really execute the little plays.
Not at all. Here is Freddie Freeman on what the team's mindset was when they were down 5-0.
I think we were all saying it the first 3 innings, let's just get one. Just chip away, we can do this. There's a couple mistakes that happen, and when you got to capitalize. They gave us some extra outs, and we were able to do that. Mookie putting in play, hustling down the line, getting the hit. Teo, big 2-run double, tied the game. Yeah,
and it was, I mean, a ridiculous amount of errors for a team that's in Game 5 of the World Series. If that's April or May, maybe you chalk it up to just a bad loss, Perloff, and hey, we got to do a little more on the fundamentals. But this has actually been an issue that's plagued the Yankees for several years. And you know that saying in baseball, it says the ball will find you. And what it generally means is that if you have somebody who's a weak link or something like that, the ball will find them in the outfield, right? It will always expose your mistakes. And this is almost poetic in a sad way for Yankee fans, I guess, but in a poetic way, that the Yankees have all this power and all these superstars and seem to have turned the tide that had been the Achilles heel that they've had now for seasons on top of seasons of being a bad defensive baseball team and a poor fundamentals baseball team, that's ultimately what doomed them.
Yeah, I know Smoltz said that too, that you can slug your way through bad fundamental play during the season, but you can't do it during the postseason. I'm curious. I want to see the Yankees run it back and try again. I keep trying. I know that's so stupid, but I'm like, wow. Do you really believe that if you had fully operational Aaron Judge, fully operational Giancarlo Stanton, who, by the way, was healthy, which was a big stroke of luck, and say you got Juan Soto back, are you sure they can't slug their way through these problems? They did get to the World Series this year.
I know, but you know what? They've been trying to slug their way through these problems for years now, and it's not worked.
Yeah, but the playoffs are really hard to predict. Are you saying that the Rangers and the Diamondbacks last year out-fundamentaled everybody? No, they got hot at the right time.
Yeah, but I think when your fundamentals are bad, again, it's going to show itself at the worst times. Yeah. And I think that's across sports, quite frankly. I don't think that's just a baseball thing. Mm-hmm. It's just so pronounced when it's baseball. And actually when it's football, too. But football, we can always say, oh, this was a bad call, or it was holding, or there's holding on every play, or this guy, that guy. I mean, with baseball, it's so obvious. You lose focus, which I think has also been an issue with the Yankees.
Yeah.
You lose focus. You don't know what base to go to. You're not, running the bases correctly. You're not executing these just routine things. And big bad New York Yankees go down because they couldn't do the small stuff. And it's their own fault.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. I can't argue against that. As I consider myself more an analytic guy, that, well, if they build a better lineup and a better pitching staff, maybe they could get through this. I mean, listen, also, too, this is not exactly, except for those 3 guys in the middle of the lineup, this isn't exactly a dream team around them, is it? I mean, that you mentioned the bottom of the lineup, is that scaring you?
No, it's not. But, it's more than that, and not to get into too much of the nitty gritty about this, but it's about, going to a reliever instead of the guy you trust in Luke Weaver, instead of letting Tommy Kahnle come in and load the bases and then bringing in Luke Weaver. When you were going to ask him to get a six outs anyway. It's silly
it feels like Monday
that.
Morning quarterback to me a little bit.
I don't know. I think all that stuff matters. I think it's not having a pinch hitter ready for Alex Verdugo. I think it's a lot of things that they just didn't set themselves up in a way that the Dodgers did.
They had 7 runs through the first 3 games of this series.
Yeah.
I mean,
they should have won game 1, quite frankly.
They should have won game 1, but then they went super cold in game 2 and 3. Those guys are too good, except for Stanton, to go that cold. So I'm not sure. I totally understand, and you're completely right, but I do feel like, wow, if this was like really, if Soto Judge and Stanton were firing on all cylinders, you could make up for the fact that you're paying for power, you're not paying for fielding.
Yeah, but then the fielding comes and rears its ugly head. And think about it. They should have won Game 5. They won Game 4.
They should have won Game 1.
Excuse me, Game 1.
Yeah.
And they should have won last night. So they actually, if you're saying the shoulda, woulda, coulda, they should be up 3-2 going back to LA, but they're definitely not because they are their own worst enemy.
Right, and the Dodgers really didn't do much in Game 3. They got some early runs that they churned out. That's the thing. The Dodgers could churn out runs, and these new stolen base rules really helped the Dodgers too, where the Yankees haven't been able to take advantage of that. So you're right. It's like almost like the Dodgers were like not a small ball team, but with a scrappy little underdog with a $400 million payroll.
Yeah, that guy, that unknown, unsung hero, Shohei Ohtani and Freddie Freeman.
Everybody doubted them.
Yeah. And by the way, Shohei was probably the worst player on the field last night. Again, I mean, those swings were awful, god awful. I'm not sure why it was out.
That knuckle curveball in the fifth inning, I was like, oh, that's nasty.
And the flyouts to left field were sad. I mean, this was, I don't even know. I totally disagree. Like, I would not have had him in the lineup because you knew he was an automatic out, and they still won. And Freeman was, and we forget, this guy, Freeman, how many games did he miss? He was legitimate. He was Kirk Gibson. Remember the Kirk Gibson narrative? That feels like a long time ago.
It was 5 days ago.
I know.
No, it was a few more than 5 days. What's today? Today's Thursday.
It was about 5 days ago.
It was last Friday.
Yeah.
It was less than a week ago.
Did he go get
Kirk
his
Gibson? Now he's running out, out singles, making the Yankees pay for bad fielding errors.
Did he go to Germany and get his blood spun? Because he's not limping at all.
Cayenne pepper and water, baby.
Oh,
the Aaron Rodgers delight.
Yeah, that he got from my guy Thomas Morstead, the fountain of youth that he got from a punter. Yeah, no, something. But Freddie Freeman, I'm telling you, he killed the Kirk Gibson narrative by running too well the rest of the series.
Yeah, he was not hurt enough. Right.
By the way, that was the easiest MVP vote in any World Series. I mean, maybe there are more obvious ones, but we knew Freddie Freeman. You said actually after Game 1, I'm like, wow, Freddie Freeman's winning the MVP of this series.
Yeah, probably should have bet on it. Although I don't think the odds were.
Yeah, the odds might have changed after he hit a grand slam to win walk-off.
855-212-4227. Happy Dodger fans. You are welcome, well, all the time, especially today. Are you still awake? Have you been up all night? Are you cheering? This is an exciting one. I'm just a little curious, and I don't want to do the East Coast bias thing. I'm a little curious, though, what's going to be the lasting memory from this. I think it's going to be Freddie Freeman. I believe he will be the lasting memory. I also think the Yankees' horrible fifth inning will also leave a mark because I've seen a lot of baseball people. I think Tim Kirkjian said it after the game, Buster Olney, a lot of smart baseball people who I trust, who said this is the absolute worst inning that a team has ever had in the history of the World Series. Considering the Red Sox Mets 86, that's saying something. That was a terrible inning for the Red Sox and continue to curse. But to say that this is the worst inning, I think that becomes part of the story too. But again, I don't want to be East Coast bias here. This is LA's moment. EJ, what do you think?
No, this was terrible. I mean, that's my takeaway from this. Freeman, I think, is number one.
Yeah.
I think it's a tie between one of the worst meltdowns I've seen in the championship in that fifth inning and those dopey Yankee fans on Game 4.
We got to talk about the fans again.
The failure from the fans and then the team in Game 5, like they're almost like combined to me in just like Yankee futility overall.
Ruff, what do you think about the whole fan situation yesterday? So these are the two dudes who interfered with Mookie Betts. They got kicked out of the game. And because the guy's a season ticket holder, I think that probably played into it. It took the Yankees a long time to announce that they were not welcome back for last night's game.
Yeah, I 4 o'clock read the headline, MLB urges Yankees to ban fans. I'm like, how did the Yankees not know this? The Yankees did, to their credit, kick them out yesterday, right? So they know how to kick them out. Is it possible they just didn't get around to it because they were focused on other things? Like, did those guys at 4 o'clock in the afternoon think they were getting in? I wonder if the Yankees just didn't kick them out and didn't even announce it, right? Because
no, they didn't. In fact, the guys told ESPN we're coming back tonight, and that the Yankees had no comment. So I don't know if you could say the Yankees were too busy.
Well, you say they have no comment, like they officially had no comment, or they just didn't comment.
They didn't comment. I don't know if they were reached and didn't comment, or just didn't comment. I think they were slow playing it, and yes, Major League Baseball had to get involved. And then eventually the Yankees did the right thing and gave the tickets to a young boy who has pediatric cancer. So they made a bad situation into a great day for this young man, even though he unfortunately couldn't watch his team win, but that's a memory he'll have forever. But it took a long time. As this guy is going and doing barstool interviews and making the rounds and fully getting his 15 minutes of fame, turns out he's good friends with Rob Gronkowski. Yesterday was a fever dream. And the Yankees took a long time to get around to saying those guys were not welcome.
Yeah, it doesn't look good. If you were on the fence, do I hate the Yankees? After that, probably do. I mean, the Yankees are like Notre Dame football and Duke basketball. They're pretty fun to root against. I don't think this is the most hateable Yankees team. I think they're more hateable Yankee teams. I'm not huge fan of A-Rod, for example.
Sure.
Beat my Phillies in the World Series. Hated that team.
Yeah.
This team, those fans I didn't like. Actually, I'm a little neutral on this team because I'm sorry, this is going to sound weak. I like Aaron Judge. I mean, how do you not like Aaron Judge? I like Juan Soto. I kind of like Giancarlo Stanton. So I feel like the team itself is not hateable necessarily, but the fan base today feels pretty low.
Yeah, they should be.
Yeah.
And no, they didn't do themselves any favors because it was like these two guys who were kind of clowns. There were a lot of people who were calling them out, but there were other people who were raising them up.
Nobody in the media was raising him up. It was a national media dunk fest on these guys last night.
I mean,
Barstool's
pretty big.
Nobody
media
in
outlet.
the media. Yeah.
Well,
Barstool's made a career of going 180 degrees opposite of, you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
you think there's somebody on ESPN saying, like, oh, these fans did the right thing protecting that rail. It was a 100% consensus. These guys are idiots.
Well, sometimes that's just the right.
Yeah, no, he was
That's
right.
just the right opinion.
We all, I mean, that
we
was
don't have
obvious.
to hot take this thing.
Right.
They
Well,
were
Ryan
in the
points
wrong.
out, Barstool didn't celebrate those guys, did they?
They brought him in.
Yeah, they did.
Well, they are funny. I mean,
No, they're not funny. They're clowns.
yeah, they're clowns. Clowns are funny.
No,
Well,
these are just like
sad clowns.
the sad, disgusting, like drunk ones.
It felt like it was 2 degrees away from a Saturday Night Live skit, those two guys. That's why maybe I should be taking more shit. And when they I didn't like when they grabbed Mookie's
Beds, yeah.
wrist. That was terrible. But just trying to wrestle the ball out of the glove was almost a little funny because it was so stupid. Like, what did he think was going to happen? Did he think he was going to get the call?
Well, and the other part too is when you find out after the fact that these two dudes have been plotting this and planning this, like in a corner diner somewhere, most likely 2 bar stools somewhere and Billy's and Stan's, but the 2 famous bars outside of New York City, Yankee Stadium. But like the fact that it was not even, in the moment, I'm sorry, I lost my mind. I'm sorry. I got caught up in the moment. Maybe I had a little bit to drink. I wasn't myself and something took over and that was so out of line and out of character for me. And I'm so sorry. Instead, it was the other opposite. I've been waiting for this moment my whole life to make myself a national jackass. I've been waiting for this moment where I was going to, what they say, D him up? Dude, you don't play.
By the Yankees, they might not, but they better ban them next year too, because if those guys show up on camera in that same spot,
they're going to get a standing ovation.
America is going to kill the Yankees.
Oh, do you think people have turned on them now that the Yankees lost?
Oh, if those guys are
Yankee
out there,
fans.
it'll be a. First of all, remind everybody of how they lost to the Dodgers. I think that'd be a bad look. I think everybody would dunk on the Yankees if those idiots are out there again. Like, I think somebody in the baseball office will say to the Yankees, like, you cannot give them season tickets again, right? Or do you think they'll be back day one, sitting there D'ing up the wall?
I don't know. I listen.
Read the
Yankees
room,
lost
Yankees.
in this really embarrassing way. I can't imagine you would want to be associated with anything that happened.
Yeah.
in those games.
Good point.
So, I mean, this was embarrassing. These guys weren't the turning point. They're not the totems. You know, it was hubris. Thinking you can get involved in the game and have no consequences. Thinking that you can not work on your fundamentals and you're going to beat the LA Dodgers in the World Series. Hubris, or delusion. I'll give them delusion too. Delusion that you think you're a fan that's actually going to impact the game in a positive way by doing something like that. And 2, delusion by the Yankees thinking, oh, let's pat ourselves on the back because we got to the World Series when you also blew it.
They also had one of the easiest roads to a World Series we've probably seen in a long time. I mean, they faced teams that just were not ready for prime time and didn't give them really much pressure too. So I think it's going to be hard for Yankee fans of all fans aren't going to take moral victories, but I think it's going to be hard to really accept any kind of solace in a World Series run this time.
You know who will? The Yankees themselves, not the fans.
Yeah. Hal Steinbrenner seeing those postseason, that postseason gate. He's the World Series gate. I'm sure he's loving that. Doesn't matter if they won the games or lost the games. The gate was there. The money is still coming. So it's all
This
good.
is so funny to me because there's not a single other MLB team who would be discussed like this if they lost the World Series. Not one.
Oh, all those errors? You don't think so?
No. Just the pressure on the Yankees to win. Like, the funny thing, the Yankees haven't been here in a while. Like, when the Phillies lost the World Series, like, it was like, nice effort, nice try. Or when the Diamondbacks lost the World Series, like, what a scrappy little team. And maybe the Dodgers would get this kind of treatment, but the Yankees are just like, no matter what their team actually is, are the Yankees and the favorites, and they blew it. Like, they just are treated so differently than every other team.
Well,
They went all in. They went
that?
all in this year,
That's
the
true.
Yankees. You got Soto on a one-year deal.
Yeah.
Stroman was a one-year deal that failed.
Look at the last 25 years, how many superstars have been through there, and they never even got this far.
But they seem desperate now. They haven't really had the same type of superstars come through.
Well, yeah, but 20 years ago when the Kevin Brown era, like, they were the top guys coming through and they were blowing it.
Yeah, 855-212-4227. It's funny, yesterday, or it was 2 days ago, we asked the question, are the Dodgers winning this or did the Yankees blow it? Or were they were in the process of blowing it at the time. They've now officially blown it. I'm curious if that's the bigger takeaway. Because you don't want to be disrespectful to the Dodgers here. They won. But they were dead in the water last night, down 5-0. And granted, there's a lot of game left to be played. It's only in the 5th inning. But Garrett Cole was dealing. He was unhittable, and if not for their Yankees' own errors and their own self-inflicted wounds, maybe they shut the door on the Dodgers last night. And then you go back to LA, and then we talked about how the pressure would change, but that's gone. 855-212-4227.
I have a question for you guys, and maybe it's something to take into the break. Because one of the things I kept hearing last night from the players and Dave Roberts was people keep talking about 2020. And we don't want to say that, whatever, but like this feels really good to do this after what people have said about our 2020 World Series. Is there any credence to this World Series giving them some credibility for winning in 2020?
Oh, does this validate 2020?
Yes.
Kind of
Absolutely
like the
not.
Astros second title.
The idea that they weren't frauds. They would have maybe won in 2020. That you can't take that away from them, considering they won not that too far after that.
Yeah, I mean
season.
That's 100% true for the Houston Astros. I mean, they changed the narrative 100 by winning a second World Series was everything. I'm not. We should ponder in the break. I think that's interesting.
855-212-4227. If you want to watch the show. Hey, happy Halloween, everyone. YouTube.com/Infinity Sportsnet, Twitch.tv/Infinity Sports Network, and we are turn up,
Both.
decked out. YouTube.com/Infinity Sportsnet, Twitch.tv/Infinity Sports Network. We'll get more into our Halloween and more World Series next.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. 3 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. .30 seconds remaining. .15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back, Maggie and Perloff Show. Happy Halloween to everyone. If you're watching us on YouTube, Infinity Sports Radio Network YouTube channel, you're getting part of the effect, I think, Maggie.
Well, yours is definitely a more of a top-down, feet up.
Yeah.
Yours is a full, complete costume.
Yours actually probably reads very well because there is no doubt the second I saw you, like that is a costume, you know exactly who you are, and yeah, you kind of look like him.
Thank you. I'm dressed today as Slash from Guns N' Roses. Quite frankly, a role I was born to play.
By the way, I never in my wildest dreams would have thought you looked like Slash in any way whatsoever.
And here I am.
Yeah.
Doppelganger.
Like I was like, who's Maggie look like? Slash was not on the list.
I mean, I don't look like one of the great guitarists of all time. I don't give that vibe.
Do you know how to play guitar?
I do not.
Did you bring in a guitar as a prop?
I didn't.
Well, good. If you didn't know how to play it, it wouldn't have been very effective.
I thought about bringing my kid's ukulele, but I'm like, that's not going to work. But yeah. Perloff, so I'm dressed as Slash from Guns N' Roses. Perloff, your costume is brilliant. You are a 1980s
or 90s, or really 70s. I am a football coach. I wear the classic bike short football coach shorts, which are always a little undersized.
A little.
Yeah. Should I stand up for the...
I think you should. And congratulations again on second year in a row, your costume being a clear HR violation.
It's an HR violation now. See, that's what's wrong with the society today. In 1983, the offensive line coach of the Cardinals could wear whatever he wanted, but now I can't wear football shorts.
I just feel bad for Bogusch because I know he's getting it somehow today. Those shorts are... I've seen bathing suits bigger than them. Like, a lot of them.
Who said that yesterday? I've seen loincloths bigger than those.
Yeah.
There are leaves in the forest bigger than...
I think cavemen wear more.
That being said, Google pictures of coaches from 1980s wearing shorts. I look exactly like all of them.
Yeah, you really do.
T.
It's amazing.
The
so
styles were so much better back then.
EJ is dressed as Kendrick Lamar today.
Yes, Kendrick Lamar from the Pop-Out concert in L.A. I got a microphone. I got a fake cross chain, red hat, red hoodie. All put together.
And you're ready to take out Drake at any time. And Brian Botcher's in with us today, and you are
Stitch.
Can you do a Stitch voice?
No.
Oh, come on.
I forgot what he sounds like.
It's adorable. Bogusch just walked in. It's funny because I caught a glimpse of somebody walking by out of the corner of my eye. I'm like, who is that person? Bogusch is dressed as a piñata. Bravo.
Thank you. And it's also a sports hot take pinata. There was supposed to be a wiffle ball bat here somewhere, and I was going to let somebody gently hit me and then therefore get sports takes.
A hot take would fall out of your pockets.
Here's one for you. That didn't work. There's one for you.
All right. What is that?
They're show related.
Hot takes.
All right.
Perloff, you want to go first?
Sports. Okay, this is from Andrew Bogusch, the hot take pinata. Bronny deserves to be in the NBA. Is that for? Did I say that?
No, just a general thought.
Yeah,
no, I've never heard that hot take.
These are too hot. Jalen Brunson is the greatest Nick ever.
That's for EJ.
I have heard that.
This is awesome. The hot take pinata. Okay, if you want to watch the show, youtube.com/InfinitySportsNet, twitch.tv/Infinity Sports Network, and on X at Maggie Gray. You can see us in all of our glory.
Oh, man. Now I'm stuck on the EJ. Like, Jalen Brunson really could end up being the greatest Nick of all time.
We're not going to do that today on the day when the Dodgers win the World Series.
Yeah.
Oh. I fell asleep at 5-0. They won?
We got a lot to fill you in on. There was a couple really funny things we have to get to throughout the show today. EJ, you just asked a question. I want to noodle on this for a little bit. Is watching your team lose in your home arena the worst possible experience?
Yeah, the worst thing that can happen to you as a fan is watching your team lose a championship on your home court or field. Okay,
I have one I think is worse, but let's hold that off for Bogusch, the human sports hot take pinata, can do an update for us.
The headlines are sponsored by Prize Picks. Football season's here, and Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. Download Prize Picks, use code MNP, and get a $50 credit instantly when you play $5. Must be present in certain states where it's lawful to wager. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details. So there was a time last night when it was 5-0 Yankees. Garrett Cole was cruising, and a Game 6 tomorrow night in L.A. looked very, very possible.
5-0 Yankees. The Dodgers have to get something here. The pitch. Mookie cues it right side of the infield, picked up by Rizzo. He's going to have to take it himself. Nobody was covering the bag. Nobody covered it. And that is how the Dodgers break through.
And they kept going. A Freddie Freeman 2-run single, then a game-tying 2-run double from Teoscar Hernandez. 5 unearned runs off 2 Yankee errors and that brain fart from Garrett Cole and Anthony Rizzo to erase that 5-0 hole. The Yankees did retake a 6-5 lead, but Gavin Lux and Mookie Betts hit sac flies top 8 for a 7-6 edge. And then Game 3 starter Walker Buehler got the save and the world title. The game was hard, the series was hard, the season was hard, but Dave Roberts has another championship.
We did go through a lot, Russ, but I'll still say that we still had the best record in all of baseball this year. And so it wasn't easy, but our guys fought and played every day the right way.
It is the Dodgers' 8th world title, number 7 since moving to L.A., and their first full season crown since 1988. The Yankee World Series drought, meanwhile, still dates back to 2009. Manager Aaron Boone thought they'd at least have another game to play.
Doesn't take away my pride of what that room means to me and what that group forged this year and what we've been through to get here. But I'm heartbroken.
Now the Juan Soto sweepstakes begin while the Dodgers parade through L.A. tomorrow. The Boston Celtics have lost for the first time this season.
Halliburton moves to his right edge of the arc, gives to Siakam, 3 to shoot, and a 3-ball right through the middle. Timeout, Boston.
That's Mark Boyle on Pacers Radio. Indy winning 135-132 in OT on that Pascal Siakam 3. He had 29 points and 11 boards. The Thunder are 4-0 after downing the Spurs 105-93. The Lakers lost in Cleveland 134-110, but Bronny did score his first points on a hoop in garbage time. And the Blazers surprised the Clippers in LA 106-105.
Wait, I'm sorry. Did you just fist pump for Bronny?
Yes, Bronny got his basket.
Oh, gosh.
Did he get it?
Which means what?
That it's done. We can move on.
Oh, you think he goes to the G League?
Yes.
Catch the lob. You need
no.
the lob from LeBron.
It's gonna be hard to. That's gonna be very hard to engineer.
I thought you were gonna say he needed a home basket.
Like
he did it in Cleveland. I didn't know if that counted
I honestly
for you.
thought he could go all 82 games without scoring a basket. It was on my mind. As someone who's done that in a high school season, yeah, I definitely feel for the bench warmers. That is a huge bucket, probably the biggest basket of the year.
Wow.
In the entire NBA?
In the entire NBA.
Okay. Lamar Jackson. That's a new hot take for the pinata.
Yeah, I was going to say, file that away.
Aren't you guys relieved? Like, it's going to go away now. Now we don't have to talk about Bronny. He's got his basket. Or send him down the G League.
I don't think he's going to go away, or it's going to go away.
Well, he couldn't have done that on a night where literally no one cared. Like more. Like
probably
the Yankee World Series,
for the
Dodger
best.
World Series. Yeah.
For the best.
No, I think it is for the best. So I agree. I think this does kind of go away. I don't know if people will even know he scored a basket, to be honest.
By the
I had
way,
no idea.
how perfect in a way was it that it was Cleveland? The one place where he's guaranteed to get cheered.
Yep.
The James family is like royalty there.
See, Maggie's creating a narrative out of this. This is now, yeah, you're getting the spirit.
They
There
gave
you
him a
go.
banner.
There you go.
They actually gave Bronny like a banner, like "Welcome Home,"
Ah,
which is
love it.
stupid.
Love it. They did.
He is from Cleveland.
I mean,
It is funny. Like I watched a lot of
guess.
sports last night. And no, I didn't see any of this. I watched the officials help the Celtics close a 24-point deficit to keep the game interesting for ESPN, which was great. But no, I had no idea.
Your definition of a good time is really out there.
Did you guys watch that? That Pacers Celtics game was utterly bananas.
I did not watch that, but
yeah.
I did see a lot of Bronny, and I thought, oh yeah, Cleveland, that makes sense. They're gonna love him, and I get that. If I lived in Cleveland, I'd love Bronny too.
But that game wasn't even on TV,
Yeah.
national TV. They picked two other games. That's funny to me. Like it kind of did get buried. Why did they make that a bigger deal? Bronny comes home? I would have been into that. No one told me.
Did they play the song, the "I'm Coming Home" song?
Yeah.
He only got in because it was 134-110. You couldn't
True.
guarantee
Thank
him getting
God.
in the game to come home.
That's
Ronnie
true.
comes home to watch his dad play again. This time with better seats.
Are they better? I feel like I kind of want
Sure, they
them
might not
mid-court.
be.
Yeah, he's way down there at the end. That's a good point.
That's probably the same seat he had when LeBron was there. Right at
It's
the end
like
of the
like
bench.
10 feet away.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson did not practice yesterday in Baltimore. John Harbaugh said his QB was resting, but the official injury report says Lamar has back and knee issues. And from the NHL, the Utah Hockey Club snapping a 4-game skid, 5-1 over the Flames. The Lightning got a 5-2 win in Colorado. Our good friend Ivan did have a power play goal in defeat.
Such a
Guys,
huge fan
back
of
to
that
you.
guy. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Somebody should have been Ivan.
We don't know what he looks like.
Or I don't even
Like his
remember.
name.
I don't even remember what team he's on.
Oh, he's on the Avalanche?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Botcher, you should have been Ivan.
He might be.
Yeah.
That's what Ivan could look like.
Ivan
an alien.
squared.
Stitch.
You could have dressed up as Ivan the Terrible, the historic figure, and somebody else could have been Ivan the Terrible, and it would have been Ivan and Ivan.
Or Ivan Terrible. Or
That's a worse idea than our podcast
Terrible,
yesterday.
terrible.
The podcast said he was a good one.
By the way,
Actually, I liked it too.
would anyone know what Ivan the Terrible looked like? It's dawning on me. I'm not sure what
just
that
wear
dude looked
like
like.
I don't know, like a
Medieval.
fur hat with a beard.
Yeah. There you go.
And I would be like, cool,
Opportunity
you're a
missed.
Viking. I don't think anyone would get it.
You get Rasputin over Ivan the Terrible.
So at some point when we're wearing these Halloween costumes today, but at some point will you promise me after the show when we're all done, can we see what's underneath your costume? Perloff?
Yeah, the top half.
The top, sorry, not the bottom.
I mean, yeah, I'm like, ooh, what are you
You can
talking
basically
about?
go on it.
Easy
Now-
slash.
I gotta be
now
honest,
I'm
like it's all right there
HR
for
pilot.
you. Yeah. I have a mini fat suit on.
I'm fascinated by this. It's great.
Oh, I can see it now from the collar of your shirt.
Oh, yeah, is it coming out? You
Yeah.
have to be careful.
So Perloff comes in, he's like, we got to hurry this up. I am sweating. I'm like, you're in the shortest shorts available.
So, yeah, we need to do our pictures at the break. I'm just doing a little on-air production meeting here.
Okay.
Because there's an issue with the quote-unquote fat suit. Like, and my wife had a suggestion, and because it looked too wrinkly, so I had to, I wrapped it in saran wrap. So I'm basically...
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Basically, you know, fat suit girder.
Yeah, because if you're an 80s football coach, you have to have a tummy, right?
Definitely.
Oh, you're too skinny to be a football coach? Jerk.
Google these football coaches.
I know, I'm
We've
aware.
seen Parcells.
Yeah, I mean, it was the entire year. Everybody looked exactly like that.
Well, if you didn't have to have a big belly, that means you weren't grinding enough tape. Out there being healthy, what, drinking water and eating vegetables?
Why do you think Andy Reid's
Running?
winning? Why do you think Andy Reid's winning all these Super Bowls?
It's the double cheeseburgers. It's
There you
the
go.
secret.
And those nuggies.
Oh, God. He's really... Well, we'll talk about his commercials another time. That's not for today.
I've been
855.
Andy Reid about 6 times on Halloween, different versions of Andy Reid.
I thought you were Andy Reid today.
No, closer to Buddy Ryan.
Yeah, I know.
855-212-4227. Okay, Bogish, thank you so much. I want to get back to EJ's question here, which is watching your team lose the title on your home turf, court, field, whatever, is that the worst experience you can have as a sports fan? I think I have one that tops it. In fact, I know I do. 855-212-4227. Maggie and Perloff.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 2 minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. "45 seconds remaining. "30 seconds remaining. "15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Love it. Maybe next year we'll be Ghostbusters. Maggie and Perloff, we're all dressed up today for Halloween, celebrating a Dodger win with their fans. Excited for the Dodgers, and also talking about just how this whole series played out for the New York Yankees, especially last night. That fifth inning, Perloff, kind of a microcosm of a lot of things, which is Yankees up 5-0, 2 errors, another bad decision on the bases, and they spoiled what was a gem that Garrett Cole was pitching, although he also played into it because he failed to cover first base on a roller from Mookie Betts that Anthony Rizzo was flat-footed on that allowed a run to score and the inning to continue. But again, all these things that could have gone right, the momentum, Aaron Judge hitting a home run in the first inning, Aaron Judge coming up with a really great catch, only to have a really awful lapse in focus to, basically botch a routine fly ball that he should have had. It was just, with the good came so much bad for the Yankees, and it's all their own fault.
Yeah, I mean, you see the opposite. You mentioned the roller to first. Like Mookie, as big as a superstar as he is, plays exactly the right way. Runs out everything. Freddie Freeman runs out everything. It just, it's funny. The two teams are mirror images of each other because they're such high payrolls and they're such big stars and MVPs all over the place. But one team doesn't play, this series, the Dodgers played like a scrappy team. I'm sorry. I know that sounds stupid because they're the LA Dodgers.
No, you're right.
But they like the underdog they could. Honestly, the Dodgers probably were. This is not a great version of the Dodgers. The Dodgers were probably worse than the Padres coming to this postseason. But, man, they had a lot of resiliency.
They did, and they did the little things. And the Yankees blew it when the little things mattered. And it was the difference in that fifth inning where the Yankees had a 5-0 lead and melted down and just coughed up 5 runs. Now, EJ asked, is it the worst thing in sports to watch your team lose a championship and watch another team celebrate on your home field?
Sounds pretty bad. I can't think of anything off the top of my head worse.
I've got a worse one for you, and I'm sorry because it's going to feel a little pointed to some people in the room, and I don't mean to sound that way. I think the worst thing that could happen even more than that, at least you've made it to the championship game.
Right.
Right? And yeah, no moral victories, especially not for the New York freaking Yankees, but at least you've made it to the title, so you've had some good moments along the way. I actually think the worst moment in sports is what you saw last year with Aaron Rodgers. Getting hurt 4 plays into the season's over.
They won that game.
They won that game, but then what happened?
So you're saying like a devastating injury
Yes.
to a star player, especially early in the season.
Yes. And because it changes everything. It changed everything. And I would put that above losing.
I would put losing. I would actually say it's not even losing. Like, what if you get killed? It's like a 4-0 sweep and the other team wins. What if it's a 13-second scenario? Sorry to bring your Bills up. Like, that seems like the worst. A game you thought you had won and you started celebrating and then you lost. That seems, EJ, would you admit that could be more painful? A playoff game, for example?
I mean, I'm the Mets, Knicks, and Jets fan. Yes, that is also bad. I've been there where you think you're going to win and you lose. I still think if you're in the stadium, in some of these situations, you could be talking about a 1-game scenario, or you could be talking about a game 7. This, of course, was not a game 7, but you're hoping to celebrate a championship, or at least for those Yankee fans out there, to stave off a celebration on your home field, and you blow it, and you got to watch the Dodgers run around and celebrate with their families and hoist a trophy in your stadium, a stadium that's hoisted out 27 World Series or whatever. Like, I think that's the worst thing that could happen. I can't imagine spending what probably was about $2,000 last night to be in that building to see another team celebrate a championship.
Okay, but you also know walking into that game, you're going into an elimination game. So, when you're up 5-0.
It's why I would never have picked to go to game 5. I'm being honest.
But that's why, honestly, I think that's the nature of sports. Like, you can't have the high highs without the low lows. You need the risk, because then when you win, it feels that much better. That's why we're all doing this, because of the high highs and the low lows. Like, EJ, you can't just turn away from them. If you were offered game 5, if you were a Yankee fan and offered tickets to that game, like, you got to go. It's a matter of risking. It could end up being completely miserable. By the way, I would hope you turned around and left the stadium instead of waiting until the families got out on the field, EJ. But
what are you, George Kittle? I don't sit around. I just want to feel it.
There were some people still sitting there. They were like spattering of booze when they announced the Dodgers won the championship. I'm like, they're Yankee fans sitting through this? Are they Trevon Diggs on the Arrowhead Field watching the Chiefs celebrate? What are they doing?
I saw Donovan McNabb do that once early in his career, sat there and watched the celebration. Yeah, that's a player thing. If you're a fan, you got to get out of that parking lot.
Why?
Unless you're thinking, I got to wait for an hour so it clears.
No, that's a must-leave situation. You're not one of the players. You're not soaking this in so that you get motivation for next year. There's literally nothing you can do that will determine the outcome of the game.
You know who would have
Get the heck out of there.
You know who would have sat through that whole celebration because they thought they were part of the game?
Yeah.
Those 2 idiot Yankee fans.
Oh.
They would have been like, we got to get better for next year. Next time, we're going to effectively, stop Mookie Betts from catching that ball in the outfield.
Yeah, those 2 dudes, 2 clowns.
Got to D him up.
D him up. That's actually we should get their season tickets taken away.
You think?
Well, just doing it should get their season. But the fact that they premeditated it and planned what would we do if this situation comes our way, that means they do it again, guys.
Premeditated. Like a murder.
Said.
Like a
They're
murder.
Plotting.
Yeah, they definitely do it. Those idiots definitely do it again. They'll do worse. I don't it's actually not fun. Like, you cannot physically touch a player. Like, I think all of America would have liked to see Mookie Betts slug that guy, right? Like, you can't grab his arm.
No, and Mookie was, he took the high road after the game, but obviously.
I'm sorry, by the way.
You know what they should have done? They should have had those guys, brought them into the stadium from outside just after the Yankees lost and forced them to watch the Dodgers celebrate.
Like, have their eyes like Clockwork Orange style. One thing you and I got into a little bit before, Mookie Betts, 100% Q rating. I'm sorry, even if you're a Yankee fan who just got beat by the Dodgers, what is there not to like about Mookie Betts? Plays the right way, super talented, incredible personality. He's the real deal for baseball.
Yeah, you can't insult Yankee fans like that. The guy's a former Red Sox who then just went to the Dodgers, not just a few years ago, gets traded to the Dodgers and then just beat you in the World Series. You do not have to like that guy.
I think you do. I mean, listen, you're a Yankee fan. What are you going to buy a Juan Soto mercenary jersey? Like, this is. I don't think he's a guy that I would be okay losing to. I'm sorry. Yeah, like I would still root for him. Like, because there's not a modern Yankees-Dodgers rivalry. This is the first time they've met in 45 years.
Yeah, but how could you be okay losing to anybody?
Well, okay. So last year, my Phillies lost. They were up 3-2 in the LCS, and they lost to the Diamondbacks. I have no problem with any Diamondback player because I honestly don't remember any of their names.
Yeah, but do you feel like you were okay losing to Mahomes?
Yeah, I'm fine. Oh, absolutely, because he wasn't a rival. Yeah, and Andy Reid's his coach. Yeah, I had no problem losing to Mahomes. Nobody did. Why would you have a problem losing to Mahomes? If you had lost to the Cowboys, that would be a tragedy.
855-212-4227. We got more for the World Series and a big night in football tonight, too.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. 30 seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
You have any nails left? I don't think so. The 1-2 pitch. Got him swinging! Blake Trinan went to a sweeper down and in. He pumps his fists off the mound. Will Smith gives it right back to him. They strand a pair in the bottom of the 8th and continue to lead Game 5, 7-6.
Steven Nelson on Dodgers radio. It would be Walker Buehler to finish things out for the Dodgers, and they are your World Series champions for 2024. Welcome to the show. Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. It was a wild one last night, Pearl. If people fell asleep or, I don't know, were too busy planning your Halloween costumes, it was the Yankees racing out to a 5-0 lead. Garrett Cole looked unhittable. Aaron Judge homers in his first at-bat of the game. You're thinking, all right, here we go. The Yankees are going to force a Game 6 back in L.A. That was not the case. It was a comedy of errors in the 5th inning for the Yankees. It was 2 actual errors. Then it was just some terrible baseball played by the Yankees throughout that inning where they coughed up a 5-0 lead all in one half inning. And it was Judge who had an error. It was Anthony Volpe who should have gone to first base on a grounder that he fielded. Instead goes to third base. Jazz Chisholm can't handle the ball. Then you had Mookie Betts, a single up the first base line. Anthony Rizzo doesn't charge towards the ball. Garrett Cole doesn't cover first base. They allow runs to score. Then, of course, Freddie Freeman with the bases loaded. What do you think's going to happen? He drives in runs. Teoscar Hernandez, the same thing. And it was just, it was really one of the worst, most embarrassing half innings if you're the Yankees, and a triumph for the Dodgers.
Yeah, it's so funny. This game was over. Like I thought this was the easiest Yankees win, up 5-0 early. The other thing too, you're not even talking about the fact that what happened after 5-0. Like where did all the bats go?
Oh, they were toast after that. Now Stanton did eventually also gave the lead again to the Yankees, but how do you come back from that? It has to be the most deflating.
So you think it was an emotional letdown after that? Because it's not like. It's not like this Dodgers bullpen is so ridiculous. I just think if you have all of a sudden Judge is back, he ripped another double down the left field line. He looks good. Like really, even at 5-5, like I would not. I actually thought the Yankees. I'm like, oh well, they'll still win this game because that was the Dodgers didn't really look like they were swinging the bat well. It was pretty amazing. I think you're right. I think after that inning, the Yankees got in their own head.
Yeah, well, listen, Stanton gave him the lead back, but then you have a catcher's interference on a Shohei Ohtani at bat. I mean, it just couldn't get any worse for the Yankees.
That's a little bit of bad luck, you have to admit. Is that incompetence or, I mean, they barely touched his glove.
It's lack of focus and lack of fundamentals. Yes, because I mean, listen, I'm not going to pretend like I'm some bench coach, but yeah, I think that is squarely falls on the catcher, and it was just another thing that went wrong for the Yankees, another self-inflicted wound, so to speak. So we're asking you on X, you can go vote in our poll, or you can give us a call at 855-212-4227. What will this World Series be remembered for? Freddie Freeman heroics or Yankees implosion? And right now, Yankees implosion is leading 55% to 45%.
Yeah, I mean, I think what's the one moment historically that will be played over and over again from this? To me, it's definitely the Grand Slam.
The Freddie Freeman Grand Slam from Game 1.
Yeah, I think that's the one highlight. Maybe the second highlight would be Aaron Judge missing the fly ball or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But, because I think how many highlights does every World Series get? Probably just one.
One, if you're lucky, maybe two.
Yeah.
But generally one.
I mean, you think of Kirby Puckett jumping up and catching the ball. You think of Reggie hitting the home run.
Yeah, Bill Buckner.
Yeah.
David Ortiz. Yeah. No, I get it. 855-212-4227. So you're welcome to weigh in on that. We also have a lot of football that we need to get to, Perloff, because there was a kumbaya moment yesterday for the Dallas Cowboys. It had been a trying week, not just because they lost to San Francisco and the season looks like it's teetering on the brink of complete and utter irrelevance, but Trevon Diggs and a reporter had gone kind of toe-to-toe. It was actually, the reporter sent out a tweet questioning Diggs' effort. Diggs then bursts out of the locker room before the media is allowed in and basically tells the guy something vulgar. Suck on D. Anyway, he half apologized on the Micah Parsons podcast, but then the two of them, Trevon Diggs and the reporter, got together yesterday and hashed it out in front of everybody. And then Trevon Diggs actually gave him a canister of nuts. Perloff, what did you think of this moment?
Honestly, like, the Cowboys have so many bigger problems. Like, this is
I asked you a question I want an answer. What did you think of this moment?
I'm actually a fan of the athlete calling out a reporter, then reconciling later. I always kind of like that narrative. I do think Trevon Diggs doesn't seem like a bad dude. He seemed like a bad dude when he came after him. That was like totally unnecessary, and he admitted he was wrong. So I don't know. Maybe I'll buy a little feel good in this. But the problem is in that building, it's like there's so many problems right now. This sort of adds to the general dissatisfaction in the building.
Let's hear the Trevon Diggs. Ryan, can we hear cut one, please? This is him apologizing.
I shouldn't have reacted how I reacted, so, I apologize for that. But, emotions are high. You just caught me at the right time, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, so they hashed it out. It doesn't, listen, I guess you can say you try to make a funny moment out of it and be the better person. But when I was listening to Trevon Diggs on the Micah Parsons podcast, which is not a sentence I thought I'd ever utter in a million years, he didn't really seem that sorry. And they had this made-for-TV moment, and that's fine, and we'll all move on. But it felt like it was more of an airing of the grievances on the media than it was anything else. And I ask you, do you think the Cowboys are taking full accountability and responsibility for how this season has been a disappointment so far?
The players or Jerry Jones? Because I think there's
all of it.
Well, I don't really care about the players. Honestly, like, Jerry is the problem here. He's 100. Trevon Diggs is not the problem. I think it's Jerry the problem. Like, he comes out there, dude, you just watch Baltimore trade for Deontay Johnson. Like, are you awake right now? Like, what is happening in that building? Everybody's hurt and they haven't replaced a single. They haven't made any effort. So I wonder if that front office total apathy is frustrating the players too, and then this is why we're seeing a little bit of chaos in that realm, right? Like, I mean, what are you thinking in the building? Like, everybody's hurt. All the other contenders are trading for wide receivers, and we're not doing anything.
Yeah.
I mean, what's happening? Can you explain it?
So Micah Parsons said he believes that if it was Parsons, if DeMarcus Lawrence is out there, if Deron Bland, who was activated actually, so we should see him this weekend against the Falcons. But he thought
Brandon Cooks,
he thought it would be different because it was a close game against the 49ers.
Yeah.
But I just don't really see whether he has that evidence, because I've watched Micah Parsons be on the field, DeMarcus Lawrence be on the field, and I've watched the 49ers beat them. So whether it's by a lot or by a little, I guess, yes, it makes a lot more difference if it's a close game. Micah Parsons can still make a difference, but I don't know. It kind of falls short when this has become such a lopsided rivalry. The Cowboys can't get one off the 49ers. So why would I think if Micah Parsons was there, it'd be different?
Well, they were leading at half. That was the closest they've come in a long time. Since Dak Prescott running out the clock playoff game, I thought it looked a little better against the Niners. Of course, the Niners are injured as well. But, I mean, I think this is clearly a personnel problem on this team.
Yeah.
It's not to me, it's, you've asked, like, do you think that they're not taking accountability? It doesn't seem like an attitude problem. It really seems like the fact that you have a washed up running back and you have one receiver that everybody just, by the end of the game, you're putting all four guys on him because there's nobody else. I think it's a personnel issue. And also, too, like, Micah, I want to hear about you're hurt. Like, honestly, I don't want to hear anything from you until you're on the field. Not to be mean about it, but like, you have a high ankle sprain. You've been out. This will be week 5. So let's see you play.
It is a little funny, right? It's like the guy's definitely hurt or he's not playing. You had 3 weeks plus the bye week. You got the high ankle sprain, and he's doing this podcast like la-di-da.
Yeah, usually injured players don't speak to the media, but I guess in a podcast era, injured players do their podcast.
To be honest, it's like you're questioning it when you start to listen, but then he's pretty good at this thing.
Well, him and CJ Stroud should have a show. They are unbelievable. Remember they went across the world this summer?
Yeah, they did.
They're
we went to
fantastic
China, I think.
together. Micah Parsons has always been entertaining.
He's actually good at this. I'm not saying he should be doing it while he's hurt. I'm just saying he's a charismatic guy and not a bad host. Do we have the part about the quarterbacks? Okay. Sometimes when you listen to this podcast, you have to question, do they know they're being recorded? Like, he gets that this is going to go out to like a mass audience, right? He's Micah Parsons. So this is the conversation between him and Trevon Diggs. It's like two dudes hanging out in the basement is what it sounds like. And he asked Trevon Diggs for his top 5 quarterbacks.
I'm going to go him. I'm going to go Mahomes. I'm going to go him, Mahomes.
Mar. Gotta have Mar.
Lamar. Yeah, Lamar. Can't think right
Josh
now.
Allen.
Help me out.
He's playing unbelievable right now.
Josh Allen. Jalen playing pretty good right now too.
Yeah. But Jared Goff is a top 5 quarterback right now. I hate to say he's playing the most.
And Matthew Stafford.
Okay, let's count it up. Goff, Stafford, obviously Mahomes, Lamar. They got to Josh Allen.
The first person was Jaden Daniels. They were talking about, that's why he says him.
Yep.
He talks about Jaden Daniels there.
Yeah, because they're talking about the Hail Mary. So Jaden Daniels, Goff, Stafford, Jalen Hurts, Allen, Mahomes, Lamar. Spoiler, they got to Sam Darnold. We got that too?
Sam Darnold could be in the top 5 conversation right now.
Yeah, Sam Darnold looking crazy too. So it's hard. There's a lot of quarterbacks right now.
I can't give you a top 5 right now.
Who's absent from this list? They didn't even eventually get around to Dak Prescott. They just moved on to a different topic. So just to recap, Jaden Daniels, Goff, Stafford, Hurts, Mahomes, Lamar, Josh Allen, and Sam Darnold. Dak Prescott was not even mentioned in this conversation of top 5 quarterbacks. Do they know this is being recorded, right? This is the highest paid quarterback year guy. Did they mention Burrow? I think they mentioned Burrow too.
Yes. How many quarterbacks? How many quarterbacks?
Get half the league? Oh my goodness.
You're gonna get to Bo Nix soon.
Did they get to Cousins? They may have.
Well, so was Dak implied in this conversation?
No. This was a conversation about Jaden Daniels. It was all about the Hail Mary. They were making fun of Tyreek Stevenson from the Bears for having his back to the play. Dak was not mentioned. I mean, that can't make things better.
I mean, Micah he's a Dak guy, right?
Where's the proof?
he's like the number one cheerleader for Dak. Like the contract stuff, like he goes way over the top. So I wonder if he applied that was out there.
No, you don't get the benefit of the doubt like that. They're doing top 5 quarterbacks, and you didn't mention your quarterback.
Yeah, but it feels like when you mention Sam Darnold and you go down that list, like you're clearly not putting Dak behind all those guys, right? I think there's some implicit belief that, oh yeah, we're not ranking Dak amongst there. Like you're saying that he has Dak behind Andy Dalton?
They said top 5 quarterbacks. And wouldn't you even say, well, of course, Dak. They never even gave the cursory, of course, my teammate.
I can't think of another runner-up MVP quarterback guy where his teammates, that they're ranking top quarterbacks, they don't mention him.
It's crazy.
Like imagine if TJ, what's the guy, Hendrickson is talking about top quarterbacks in the Bengals. He just doesn't mention Joe Burrow. That would be weird.
It would be crazy.
Or Von Miller's like, I don't know. It doesn't mention Josh Allen. Like it is weird.
It would not happen. And you're one of the this is the part of it where this thing it just feels off. And it all starts at the top with Jerry. Because if Jerry can do it and Jerry can talk and be media, this media savvy and put it all out there, why wouldn't everyone else be able to do it? Yeah. It's just crazy to me.
Yeah.
You don't think that one's getting back to Dak Prescott?
I'm not sure this is a thing. Like, how come no one picked it up?
We just did. We're a national morning show on 125 stations across the country and everywhere in the world, and we're talking about it.
Because it's implied. Like, obviously, they weren't ranking Dak in that list. Do you think they were like, well, yeah, Dak is 17?
You got to give courtesy, though. You have to say, like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course,
like, they didn't even talk about him in that mix.
They did not.
But they're clearly not ranking him below Sam Darnold.
Seems like they are.
I mean, he's played worse than all those guys. So, to me, it was a good list. I was saying with these guys, maybe they should get a show or something on. Put them on First Take tomorrow. Put them on this show tomorrow.
855-212-4227. All right, we get back to the World Series. So much to do. By the way, if you want to watch the show, today's the day. YouTube.com/Infinity Sportsnet, Twitch.tv/Infinity Sports Network, and on X at Maggie Gray. We are decked out. Perloff dressed as a 1970s/1980s/early 90s football coach. How are those shorts feeling?
Pretty comfy.
They're not tight?
No, not at all. There's something about bike football coach shorts. They breathe. They move with my hips. I'm liking it. I might wear these all the time.
Lucky bogus.
It's like vibranium.
Yeah.
I am dressed as Slash from Guns N' Roses.
How's that hair treating you? That looks a little hot.
It's getting a little itchy.
We should make it cooler in here. I'm starting to sweat through my fat suit.
EJ is Kendrick Lamar. Ryan Botcher is Stitch from Lilo and Stitch. And Bogish is our hot take pinata. You hit him and a hot take falls out. 855, yes.
I have a question. I want to come up with I want to combine the names of all Eagles coaches to give Perloff a name for who he is. Can he be like Buddy Kotite? Or
yeah.
Some like Dick Rhodes or Ray Vermeil, something like that.
I feel like I'm channeling a lot of Buddy Ryan, but also Jeff Stoutland, the offensive line coach. He doesn't dress like this, but I feel like I'm an O-line coach. You know who I really thought? You guys don't know this guy. There was a coach for a long time named Joe Bugle. I think he was the Washington coach and the Arizona coach. He dressed exactly like this all the time. Actually, all of them did. Was there
all
not
of them did?
Yeah. Wade Phillips.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Parcells for sure.
Parcells. Oh, my God. Parcells, except he would have that little pouch in the shorts. Like if you look at a Parcells picture, it's kind of disturbing.
I never really looked that closely. You look like you should be putting your foot up on something, like your foot up on the desk. Yeah. You know? Yeah.
That no.
We're doing Halloween and also simultaneously hazing Ryan Botcher. That was not intentional. 855-212-4227. Back to the World Series in a minute.
All right, sports fans, listen up. 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer, and bladder leaks can be a side effect. That's why Depend is teaming up with the Prostate Cancer Foundation to encourage screening, because health is a long game and it's yours to win. Now, here's the cool part. Through November, Depend is contributing up to $300,000 to prostate cancer research by donating 40 cents for every purchase of shields, guards, and Real Fit products. Void in Mississippi. Learn more at depend.com.
You're in a 4.5 minute break. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 3 minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. .30 seconds remaining. .15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff. Halloween is my favorite holiday. When else do you get to dress up like an idiot, like we were all dressed? I would say consistently, all 5 of us. Actually, EJ, you look kind of cool. I don't know if you look like an idiot.
You're dressed as Kendrick Lamar. Ryan just looks kind of adorable in the Lilo and Stitch outfit.
Like we're having a sleepover.
Yeah, they look like fuzzy PJs.
I kind of want to hug Ryan. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, that's going to get us in trouble.
No shorts.
Not in those shorts. Yeah, Perloff is a 1980s football coach, and those
Nobody
shorts
wants to hug me. Nobody wants to hug me right now.
Next year, are you just going to come in a Speedo? Like, how do you keep topping this?
Well, the funny thing about this is I'm actually looking online I Googled 1980s football coaches in shorts. There's nothing unusual about my shorts. I'll show them for the YouTube audience again.
Yeah.
This is exactly what they look like.
No. We know that you're not exaggerating the shorts. We just don't want to be around them.
It's 2004.
Right. There's a reason why they stopped wearing and making those shorts.
Also, too, these coaches have, I would say, not as skinny legs as I do. They can fill out the shorts a little more. I mean, I have twigs. So
when we started this show, what have we been together now for?
This is our 3rd year.
It's our 3rd year, right? Perloff and I have been friends for 10 years before that.
Yeah.
If you would give me 1,000 guesses of things I would see in just 3 years of us doing the show together, the amount of times I've seen your thighs is like off the charts.
Yep.
I've seen your thighs more than you've seen mine, and I'm like a woman that wears women's clothing. That's generally.
Thank God there's no wiki thighs site.
Perloff would be the homepage.
The funny thing is the way you describe it does sound like an HR violation, but it doesn't
feels like one too.
It doesn't seem to offend you in any real way.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Actually, it offends
The
more.
offense goes to the left,
Yeah,
not to the
because-
right.
More men in the room.
Because, there's nothing attractive about it. Like, I'm not trying to, hey, ladies, look at this here. There's none of that energy whatsoever.
No, we get a little more like Fletch when he's wearing the basketball costume.
I'm telling you, that was the 80s. That's for some reason, that's how people dressed. I don't know why.
Too. I think the short shorts are
Yeah.
back.
But again, the NBA guys can really pull off the short shorts. Me, not so much.
Well, you're not for lack of trying. And Bogush is dressed as the hot take pinata.
Speaking of which, here's your new ones.
Yeah, we need some
new hot takes. We didn't even have to hit you with a bat.
Yeah, well, I can't find the bat. I was going to let you guys gently hit me, but I can't find the wiffle ball bat that usually is hanging around here.
We can improvise.
I'm not going to read mine.
I'll read mine because this is my hot take, and I believe it with every fiber of my being. Don't Stop Believing is a bad song.
That's crazy. Mine, I can't read mine's in French. Wimby is overrated.
I just want to go back to mine, by the way. Mine was that Jalen Brunson's number will be in the raft.
Cut off his
Not
mic,
that he's
Ryan.
the biggest Nick ever.
Greatest Nick ever.
Yeah, that's Carl Anthony Towns, right?
After
44
last
last night. He's pretty good.
Yeah, I noticed you were smiling when you came in this morning. You're like, yeah, you're a Mets fan. The Yankees lost, and Carl
Yankees
Anthony
do
Towns
nothing.
delivers 44.
Yankees do nothing for me. Bodega Cat was all the rave for me in my house.
Drunkle Sam's in the chat said Perloff could have hit the tanning booth.
Yeah, fair.
Do we think Rich Kotite ever did? What does that mean?
Also, James is in the chat, says he's blinded by the thighs.
Yeah. No. I'm
I
not
believe to the
tan. I'm
tune
not
of
tan.
blinded by the light.
I'm not tan. What if I had? I mean, listen. If I look dumb now, if I'd come in and golden tan, you guys been like, "What the heck did you just do?"
I have an intervention for you.
Yeah. If I was
Something's off.
tan, if I went to a fake tanning booth, you guys would never let me hear the end of it. I'd rather show these white thighs to America than have a fake tan and on my thighs in October.
Don't forget our friends in Toronto. Hello, Canada. And sorry, Canada.
Canada wants no part of this, Mac.
Let's get to the headlines. Bogush had a big game last night.
These headlines are sponsored by PXG. Staying long and straight on the golf course is easier than ever with PXG clubs. Take your game to a whole new level and save $10 per club at pxg.com/football and use code football. Now, depending on your perspective, it was either the worst inning ever or the best one. Top of the fifth, Game 5 last night at Yankee Stadium, playing for their lives. Those Yankees had a 5-0 lead on the Dodgers and then fell apart.
And it's line to center field, charging Judge. He dropped the ball. And the pitch is hit on the ground to short. Volpe throws to third, and it's bobbled. So everybody is safe. A ground ball weakly hit to first. Rizzo has to go himself, and Betts beats it out. Cole forgot to cover.
This is not why John Sterling came back. 2 errors, 1 misplay, leading to 5 unearned Dodger runs. Garrett Cole still broken postgame.
Man, it's baseball. I think yeah, I mean, it's a tough inning, but I don't, sometimes, I guess it is a little hard to comprehend, but I mean, at the same time, I feel like we come in the dugout and we're like, wow.
Show me the one coherent thought in 30 seconds.
Wait a minute, hold on. Did he actually answer the question, why didn't you cover first?
He said that he started to go for the ball, and that's why his angle was off, and he couldn't correct fast enough to get to first base. And Anthony Rizzo's explanation was he thought if he charged the ball with the side spin, it might have spun out of his reach. So he stayed back to field it. Cole couldn't get to first base. Mookie Betts is fast, and everybody was safe.
Wow.
That's why I kind of push back on a little bit that this Yankee team is likable, because they don't play likable baseball. Like, who watched how they played and was like, that's a fun team?
Yeah, but Anthony Rizzo's certainly likable. He's one of the most likable players.
And I actually agree that they have likable guys. I'm saying that their team, though, and how they play baseball, nothing about what we saw from them was likable or commendable. It was pathetic. You don't cover first. You dropping the ball.
I don't know. I love it.
Bats.
Sign me up for that.
I mean, going to third when the lead runner doesn't matter at all. You're up 5 runs. Get the out. And Jazz Chisholm has played no third base. See, that's the thing. It's like they are, it's not fun to watch, but also why is Jazz Chisholm playing third base in the World Series? You traded for a guy and put him in a place he never plays.
Oh, because DJ LeMahieu was no longer playable. So they needed somebody to play third base. And that wasn't his fault. I thought that was all on Volpe. It was right play, bad throw, but it was just a disaster of an inning. But again, I loved it.
Happy pinata today.
It was great. Yeah, we were throwing candy. Full applause in my bedroom last night for that inning.
Wow.
Loved it.
Wow.
Loved it.
You were full rooting for the Dodgers in the series.
Oh, it is unacceptable in my mind as a New Yorker, as a Met fan, to go, I'm going to root for New York in the World Series and be Yankee. No. We root for everybody playing the Yankees. The Yankees can't win. The only bad World Series was Yankees-Phillies. That one had no winners.
What about the Braves? What if they were?
Okay, that one sucks too.
Yeah.
But at the very least, Atlanta's farther away from New York geographically.
Do you realize how amazing it is to watch you get very indignant about something in this costume?
Yes.
You got 2
as I'm
horns sticking out
spitting,
of
as
your
I'm
head.
eating the streamers.
It looked like the leftovers from the Liberty Parade a couple weeks ago.
I should have went to that as this.
You would have been a hit. You would have made the local news.
But I mean, last night was a roller coaster. It's 5-0, and I am petrified of a historic Yankee comeback. Because the only thing worse than the Yankee World Series win is an historic Yankee World Series win. So I'm having nightmares of winning Game 7 in L.A. So the top of the 5th will always be a very, very, very thankful inning in my life.
It did feel like if things went back to L.A., the Dodgers would have been tight.
Yep.
Definitely.
I don't know why I feel like they would have figured it out.
They probably would. I mean,
this team.
Stats say they would have.
I know, right? But I feel like after I saw what I saw in the Mets series, where you thought maybe that would have put pressure on them, it just felt like this team was not going to be denied. And I feel like they would have went to L.A. and just crushed them in Game 6, just like they did the Mets.
Yeah, but I gotta agree with these guys. When they were down 5-0 and Cole was dealing, I was like, oh boy.
Yeah.
Where'd they go? And if Judge starts hitting, but then the Yankees blew it, and their lack of fundamentals and awareness came back to bite them.
And you got to remember, they had a giant hole at the top of the lineup, too. That was an automatic out. Also, the bottom of their lineup into Shohei, like, obviously Betts Freeman was a problem. I still would walk Freddie Freeman every time. I wouldn't even pitch that dude anymore.
Bases were loaded.
Yeah, I don't care. I would have done it Bond style. I just like, he is such a problem. But I mean, one thing, Shohei should not have been out there. Am I the only one who thinks this?
But then the catcher's interference and he ends up taking a base. So
I mean, that could have been anybody.
Yeah, I guess. But I think Ohtani makes people nervous.
I think like I said yesterday, I think there was an emotional lift to having your guy out there.
But it's a DH. Like, you could have had somebody who actually produced.
I know.
And like, he also gave the pitchers confidence. He's like, wow, I just made that guy look like a fool. And he's Shohei Ohtani. I don't know.
I don't know, because Garrett Cole struck out Shohei Ohtani on a nasty knuckle curve, and then the literally next play was that he didn't cover first.
Well, I know, but that was a dribbler. That's not like he lost his stuff at all.
No, not losing the stuff, but they just had the air had come out of the balloon at that point.
Yeah, and I'm glad that John Smoltz finally said it, because I was thinking at home, what a bad job by Aaron Boone and his dugout to not send somebody to the mound earlier than they did to give Cole a rest. I mean, he was dying in that inning.
I mean, that Hernandez, the ball that went to the wall, like, you knew he was going to get hit there because Cole was exhausted.
Yeah, give the guy a break.
I mean, Aaron Boone is going to wear this one badly, which is going to be tough for Yankee fans because there's no love for him to begin with.
Right.
The team, he never holds anybody accountable, responsible. It took him 5 years to bench Gleyber Torres for one game after he's been a butcher for years. And all these things, and he just wears very thin on guys, even though he'll get ejected from games and stuff like that. I guess he sticks up for his guys that way, but he never holds anybody accountable. And now you've made it to the World Series, but he didn't have a great series, and he's going to be your manager for the next 5 years.
And I think it was also concerning or frustrating for Yankee fans or just baseball fans was to see the overcorrection in the treatment of Cole. Because the first game, it's 80-something pitches. All right, got to get him out. Like, get out there. Like, we got to go to the bullpen. Even though Cole looked good, here, as you guys said, he is struggling mightily. You don't do a mound visit. You don't get someone up. It's like, go out there and we're going to die with him on the hill. It's like he heard all the stuff from game one and was like, regardless of what happens tonight, Cole's throwing 110 pitches. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what kind of the way the inning is going. Doesn't matter how the game is going. It's like he comes into the game with predetermined ideas of how he's going to manage.
Yeah.
It's just bad baseball.
You know, the flip side for Dave Roberts, someone who's also come under a lot of scrutiny over the years, definitely a redemption moment, I guess, or I don't know. What do you call this?
I mean, he didn't have a great series either, but they won, so I guess.
I thought he was good last night, though, because once they erased the 5-run deficit, it was like, all right, all of our high leverage guys are going tonight. We're winning this thing tonight.
I did like that.
Well, I mean, they were kind of rested after last game, and they had another 2 days. So I'm not sure he was always going to go with that. I mean, I guess to go to Buehler. But that being said, like, Walker Buehler, if you watch him pitch this year, like, he should not have been unhittable. I mean, did you see what was his record this year?
Well, something changed at the end of the season. I mean, he was coming back from missing 2 years of surgery, so it might have just been getting in a rhythm.
Did the Padres destroy him one game?
The first game. Yeah. And then he was really good against the Mets, and he won game 3 of this series, and he pitched last night.
I guess my question is, why the Yankees' bats go so cold so many times during this series?
They're not good.
Is it really they're not good, or was it pressure?
Besides for Soto, Judge, and Stanton, and Jazz, nobody else in that lineup can hit.
It's a big problem.
Did you guys hear also last night that Walker Buehler was like, I wish I wasn't so out of shape, otherwise I wouldn't be out of breath in the celebration. Like, I wonder if that's something that had something to do with how much he struggled. You know, I was surprised to hear him talk about that.
I didn't hear that, but I saw a shirtless Clayton Kershaw, and that was he wouldn't need Perloff's baby belly.
Is that worse than Perloff's thighs?
It's worse than that Mahomes picture.
It's a dad bod situation. Yeah,
but pitchers can have a little bit.
Oh yeah, but you still think pro athletes have a little more definition than me. I don't think Clayton does.
It was pretty bad.
I always feel like if you didn't play in the championship, I feel like you should celebrate your teammates, but I think it should be a little muted.
Yeah, I agree with
you. No, like seeing that clown.
Legend for that team.
I know, and he may be an exception because I agree he is a legend. But seeing that clown Max Scherzer just acting like he did something last year in that World Series.
Oh well, that was last.
Like year. I know he did play some of the games, but or Jacob deGrom. I'm like, come on, guy, like you didn't do anything, bro. Like,
yeah, but that's
celebrate your teammates, but I don't need the shirtless stuff, okay?
But that doesn't apply to Clayton Kershaw. He's going to have a freaking statue outside of that stadium. I mean, if it takes them as long as it took them to get a Sandy Koufax statue, it won't happen till the year 2050. But it
also will probably look like, I don't know, Jackie Robinson. It won't look like Clayton Kershaw.
Don't get Dwayne Wade's people.
Yeah. It'll look like Shaquille O'Neal. Oh, I'm sorry. You won an L.A. Dodger. I'm sorry. I thought you won an L.A. Laker. My bad.
What else we got, folks?
Well, just to finish off on the game. So the Dodgers erase a 5-0 hole. They then fall behind again, 6-5. They score 2 top 8 on sac flies from Gavin Lux and Mookie Betts. And then, as we discussed, Walker Buehler, their Game 3 starter, got the save. So they win 7-6. It's their 8th world title. Their victory parade is tomorrow. The Yankees, meanwhile, still have not won the World Series since 2009. But at least New York has football. The Jets host the Texans on Thursday Night Football. Jordan Love saying it's realistic he faces the Lions Sunday without practicing all week because of his groin injury. And Von Miller's back at Bills practice now that his 4-game personal conduct policy suspension is over. And the Oklahoma City Thunder still perfect in this young NBA season.
Bounce passes backdoor to Mitchell in traffic. AJ escapes. Feeds Joe, escaping Wemby down the lane. Shovel feeds Holmgren for the dunk. Oh, what a sequence there. Mitchell and Joe played patty cake until the big man freed. Chet's got 19.
That's Matt Pinto, Thunder Radio. Chet Holmgren, 19 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. Wemby, just 6 points. The Thunder beat the Spurs 105-93. All 4 of OKC's wins by 12 points or more.
Wembanyama?
Take it away.
Yeah, by the way. Now Wemby's bad. No, I'm just kidding. He's really good.
Well, you're gassing up the rental car.
ESPN was presenting that Chet Holmgren and Wembanyama are a rivalry for the ages. I mean, come on, get out of here. Is that possibly true? I don't feel like they even really.
Why not?
Because they don't match up like Russell and Chamberlain did. They
might. They did in
Do they cover each other? I'm actually genuinely curious.
They probably would in a game, and they played against each other, in Team USA versus France under 19. I mean, yeah, I think there's a chance it sets up as a rivalry.
Doesn't feel. I don't know. It just doesn't ring true to me. They're too skinny to be a great rivalry.
I was just thinking the same thing. 90 pounds of hay, Wemby versus Jet.
Yeah. When you think of Bird, Magic, Chamberlain, Russell, Jordan, I don't know, Karl Malone, then you got Wemby.
Two-dimensional
Wemby
see
and what
Chet.
Chet Holmgren's legs look like? I will stand up right now.
They are skinny and they are white. Just like Perloff's Halloween costume.
I think Chet's got a little more color.
Does he?
He's got a little more sun recently.
I don't know. I could be Chet Holmgren next year for Halloween and pull that off, I think. I mean, he's a lefty, so that'll be hard, but I could figure out the rest. Oh, is it?
Yeah, no, you're right. You're good.
Yeah.
Chet Holmgren, please start wearing longer shorts. Please just start today. I don't even remember what your short length is. I want it down to your ankles.
They don't make them that
2000s.
big.
I want him looking like, Sebastian Telfair playing high school basketball.
The Fab Five.
Yeah, I'm Fab Five long.
There are guys in the NBA I noticed last night on the wraparound. There's some short shorts out there. That's in style, right?
Yeah, it's definitely in.
And you know who was leading the charge before he got hurt? The draft pick for your 76ers from Duke.
The Duke kid was going short. The TikTok guy, Jared McCain.
This happened before him too, though. Like Jalen Green had been wearing. Jalen Green. He's been wearing short shorts since high school. He kind of really pushed that thing, and now everyone does it. In college, it looks like it's the 1970s. Everyone's wearing short shorts now.
I think that's just men's fashion too.
Yeah.
I feel like I see a lot of guys rocking jorts, maybe ironically, but they're kind of short.
The players claim that it actually helps them. They think it's better for them.
Like compression shorts?
Yeah, like the shorter they are, they feel like it's not as much weight. I don't know. I don't buy that.
I don't know. Allen Iverson seemed fine.
Bro, what you're wearing short shorts? Do you feel?
Yeah, I feel great. Like I don't want to go with I hated the baggy shorts. Those were like the Earl Boykins would wear. Like looked like a skirt.
Exactly.
No.
Do you feel more athletic today?
Yeah, I mean,
dressed as an '80s football coach.
I was a big compression short guy. EJ, I know you were a compression short guy.
Wearing them now.
Yeah. Also, too, I like the
because Kendrick does, or because you do.
No, this is a me thing.
Oh, okay.
You missed a totally obnoxious stage where I would wear a shooting sleeve too. Like,
oh my god.
Yeah, I would be full. I would show up at the basketball court. I'd have the tights on, full tights, full length tights.
How did they let you play?
Because they were like, wow, that guy invested a lot of money into this outfit.
I'm saying next Halloween, I'm coming as you.
Yeah. I just when you're skinny like me, the more under stuff you can wear, it makes you look a little thicker.
You got a fat suit on today.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see the mechanics of this thing.
I was talking about my upper body when I said it made you look thicker, by the way. I just wanted that to be clear.
Yeah, we got it. And Bogus is about to get it too. 855-212-427. Sorry.
What happened?
At Maggie and Pearl on X, you can answer this question. What will this World Series be remembered for more? Freddie Freeman heroics or the Yankees implosion? You can call us 855-212-4227. Got tons of football to do today, including coming up next. Do we have a sneaky contender after one big roster move? We'll tell you next. Maggie Perloff.
You're in a 5-minute break.
This is Maggie Gray with an Odyssey Sports Minute. One of the biggest games of the weekend, the Packers hosting the Detroit Lions with a share of first place in the NFC North on the line. Jordan Love's groin injury adds a wrinkle, but the Green Bay quarterback says it's realistic he will play on Sunday. This looks like the most talented division top to bottom in the NFL, and for Green Bay to keep pace with the Lions, they need their starter on Sunday in Lambeau. I'm Maggie Gray.
.45 seconds remaining. .30 seconds remaining. Seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
By Ethos Life, the easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam and just a few health questions. Get your free quote at checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Welcome back to the show. Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. Halloween party around here. We're all dressed up in costumes. YouTube.com/Infinity Sportsnet. Twitch.tv/Infinity Sports Network. We're all in the spirit here. Perloff again with a costume featuring short shorts.
Yeah, it's liberating, Maggie. I think I'm going to start wearing short shorts around the office.
Lucky us. Ramon is in Indianapolis. Ramon, will this World Series be remembered more for Freddie Freeman or for the Yankees' implosion?
Well, I think, thank you for taking my call, too. I love you guys every day. Both things could be true. Freddie Freeman, that was spectacular, what he did. And then the Yankees' implosion as a former college baseball player, high school coach now. They look like the Bad News Bears. They look like they didn't even like my 12-year-olds. Wow. They can feel the ball. Now, how does Aaron Judge drop that? That's not even a routine pop fly. That's like what you do for 7-year-olds, teaching them how to catch the ball. And the third baseman, he should have went to second. That play was the play was at second. The play was at second. He shouldn't even went to third base. The play was at second. You cut the advancing runner off from being able to add another run to the game. You don't worry about the guy going to third. And they just seem like they're poorly coached. And Aaron Boone gets away with it. I mean, my brother debate all the time about coaching, and he always gives coaches a pass, and I don't. Especially having coached for the last 20 years, children. And children, they make mistakes. 10, 12, 15, 14-year-olds, they make mistakes. But these guys are professionals. There's no way in the world that you should drop that routine pop fly. That is no way in the world that should happen. And I like the point the gentleman made about not going out and slowing the game down. Smoltz has always been a big game guy. And you're right. Someone should have fell on the ground like the NFL players do. Oh, I got to pull muscle or something. Do something to slow the game down. But congratulations to the Dodgers. I picked them. And Dave Roberts, now I know someone said, well, he didn't coach well. When you're up 3-0, I don't know what he did wrong. But now he has to be mentioned in that echelon of great coaches because now he has 2 rings. And the bubble one, I guess, for lack of a word, you can throw that one out now. He has a legitimate one to go with the bubble one. So what do you guys think about that? And thanks for taking my call.
Ramon, great call top to bottom. Awesome stuff. And you're a baseball coach teaching kids, and you're talking about a routine fly ball that Aaron Judge just drops. He closed the glove too early, and you're talking about not a 7-year-old, not a 9-year-old, not a teaching moment for a high school kid. Talking about the American League MVP.
Well, let me ask you this hard question. Do you keep Judge in center ad infinitum?
he's he's actually a very good fielder. He caught up and made a running catch earlier in the game that was just spectacular. Ran into the wall, so you hold your breath for a second.
Why is this Aaron Boone's fault if he had it? Like what is that?
That's Aaron Judge's fault.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean Aaron Judge just the lapse of focus or thinking. I think they thought they had it. Why would this version of the New York Yankees ever think they have anything? They've done nothing.
Maybe there's no why with that play. It just I mean.
Maybe it just happened.
Maybe there's not a bigger meaning. Maybe I'm defending Aaron Judge here. I mean, it does happen. Great players have made errors.
Oh, I get it. But then the snowball effect.
Yeah.
When you're the captain, and I think everyone got a little rattled by this because then Anthony Volpe, what are you going to take it out on a 23-year-old? You know, who, and by the way, Anthony Volpe, who's developing these guys and teaching them?
I don't know. I mean, these are 2024. We still believe a manager does anything.
No, I'm talking about coming up through the system.
I mean, also, if anything, I think Anthony Volpe, and I've been watching play, is overachieving a little bit. I don't think he's not being developed well.
I mean, they thought he was going to be the next Jeter.
Dude had a pretty good postseason, didn't he? I mean,
well, not until that grand slam. Then it was like, okay, here's his moment.
I just think like this. It feels like the Yankees are looking for a scapegoat. For example, the roller to first. That does happen. You know, where there's a lot of times.
All of them. The scapegoat's not. It's not one person. They're all going to have to share it and wear it. The one part is that if you watch the Yankees a lot, it was predictable. Not that it would be this much of how fast it happened and just how swift and complete it felt of a collapse. But they've been a poor fundamental team for a long time. But they've had talent that's overcome that at times.
Outside of the fact that they keep going so far in the playoffs, otherwise they're very similar to the Dallas Cowboys, where it feels like their postseason ends the exact same way.
Well, I mean, the Dodgers,
fundamentals.
What's the difference? Weren't the Dodgers the same exact way?
Yeah, listen, the Dodgers last year, I thought Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman were definitely wearing the they didn't hit last year.
A few years ago, they won 111 games and won one playoff game. I mean, they're even worse. If you look at the difference between regular season success and postseason success, Dodgers are worse than the Yankees.
But how does it look?
Well,
does it look like self-inflicted wounds?
It looked like they were totally panicking through or just totally no-showing for many, many postseasons. And obviously the face of that was Clayton Kershaw. But I just think that if it was so predictable, I know the odds were slightly in Dodgers' favor, but I saw a ton of experts pick the Yankees in the series because people were worried about the Dodgers staff. It wasn't that predictable that this is exactly how this was going to go down.
You watched that fifth inning, and that felt a little familiar.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. But it's not like we knew for sure the Yankees were going to blow this series this way. Now it feels like we did.
855-212-4227. Coming up, we've got an update on one quarterback. Is he going to play Sunday? Is he not? We've got the news.
I didn't see a read. Actually, was there a read? Okay. This is Andrew Perloff with a Sports Minute. This is Andrew Perloff with an Odyssey Sports Minute. The Dodgers have been the dominant regular season team of this era, but disappointing in the postseason despite their COVID year title. Now they've changed the narrative.
Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 3 minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
Cole out of the stretch. The pitch. Hernandez. Fly ball. Left center field. Judge going back. Chasing after it. He's not going to get there. And one hops off the wall. Mookie scores. Here comes Freddie. Teoscar Hernandez has tied Game 5. Two-run double from Teo. 5-5 in Game 5.
Steven Nelson on Dodgers radio in inning number 5, which they'll be talking about for a long time on both coasts. Welcome to the show, Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. For the Dodgers, this was the moment, Perloff, when they go down 5-0. Their starter is chased after 35 pitches. Garrett Cole's pitching awesome. It felt like, all right, this thing is going back to L.A. Not so. The Yankees open up the door for the Dodgers with a lot of self-inflicted, just bad, terrible errors and decision-making in the 5th inning. And to be fair to the Dodgers, they took advantage of every single opportunity the Yankees gave them, tied the game up in the 5th inning, and then eventually the Yankees took the lead quickly again, but it was all Dodgers after that.
Yeah, I just worry a little bit that we're making the entire series about this 5th inning, and I get it from a symbolic standpoint. But if you're actually looking like, how do we improve the Yankees? Like, was that the whole story of what went wrong in the series? Like, if they had fielded better, would they have won this series? I'm not sure the answer is yes.
I think that if they had fielded better, they would have won this game. And so then you're going back to L.A., and they should have won Game 1. because there was a bad pitching decision to put Nestor Cortez up against Freddie Freeman, to intentionally walk Betts, all that stuff we look back in hindsight.
Well, I mean, could anybody pitch to Freddie Freeman this series?
Well, that's a good point. But the Grand Slam, I mean, it shouldn't have been Nestor, who hasn't pitched in weeks.
Okay,
when you actually had better relievers who could have matched up with him at that point. That was a mistake.
That's funny. So we're not going to do the Aaron Judge didn't show up because he showed up in this game.
Oh, we should definitely do the Aaron Judge doesn't show up. I don't think one person or one thing wears the goat horns, if you will, for the Yankees, but that fifth inning was just, as you said, that was the symbolic moment.
That's so funny because I think all anybody was talking about coming into this, like actually before last game, was Aaron Judge can't hit.
Yep.
So fortunately for him, his massive fielding error killed that.
Well, he had a home
Smart
run.
move, Aaron.
Yeah, that was a way to throw us all off balance. Yeah, no, and he also hit a home run in the bottom of the first inning.
Yeah,
so
I just think it's a little excuse. The bats really did go cold too against a Dodgers staff that even the Mets. The Mets hit a little bit, and I mean it was erratic, but
the Mets at least got to a 6.
They got and the Mets had a lot more runs. Like this Yankees team really should have gotten to that Dodgers team. I'm curious, like that's what I don't understand about like what you think. Okay, it's the offseason. Yankees are looking at what happened. Like what changes do you make?
Well, the big question is going to be Juan Soto. We're going to have a lot of time to talk about that, but Juan Soto after the game last night did not tip his hand, nor should he. He's going to have plenty of suitors, but he said there's no front runner in terms of his free agency.
Right, but if the real story is that they don't play good fundamental baseball, then who cares if you have Juan Soto?
Oh, they've needed to clean up the fundamentals for the Yankees for years.
See, that's why I don't think it's the whole story. I do think getting Juan Soto back is a big deal. I mean, I think that'd be... If they get Juan Soto back, they're not the favorite. They're one of the two favorites to get back, aren't they?
Yeah, listen, cleaning up your fundamentals is something that you have control over. That doesn't take money. That takes effort and coaching and even getting this stuff nipping into the bud in the lower levels and leagues. And that's something the Yankees haven't done. And yeah, you could change the manager. You maybe get someone in who's a little more of a hard ass. I don't know. I don't know if that matters.
I'd like to see a few more bats at the bottom of the lineup.
Well, here are the Yankees. They have an open checkbook for now to the end of eternity. So you want to get better players, get them.
There's a counterpoint to that, though, in that the Yankees, one of the issues is that they don't develop guys enough and let them really play. Like, they're letting Volpe and Wells play, right? Like,
well, they developed Aaron Judge.
No, I know, yeah, but I mean, like, for a full roster. Like, it's like, we have an issue. Let's put old DJ LeMahieu out there. Like, they just kind of like
Anthony Rizzo.
Yeah, they get these kind of mercenary guys who end up breaking down or underachieving. Like, this is like we're trying to develop guys that maybe can live up to that moment. And to be honest, Wells hit a home run. Volpe hit a grand slam. I mean, those guys did something in the series. It was the stars that didn't show up.
Well, I think that's the story of all New York City sports teams is that they always, because of all the pressure and the money, there's always a short-term fix instead of a long-term approach. I think it's certainly the Jets. I mean, if anybody, it's certainly the Yankees. It seems like the Mets to some extent, that too.
For a long time, it was the Knicks, the savior complex. The next guy's coming, the next guy's coming. But let's be honest, it works for other places. Like you're watching the Dodgers. What do? They outspent for Yamamoto. They outspent for Shohei.
For many years, that formula was exactly what was wrong with the Dodgers. They weren't, I mean... That's exactly. LA's had the same problems. Like, I think I think EJ's point is a good one. There are no short-term fixes. Like, you can't really buy a championship, although the Yankees and Dodgers have been trying. The Padres tried. It's hard. I mean, you got to
Phillies, Mets. I mean, it's not just the Yankees and the Dodgers.
Yeah.
No, they're the poster child. Children. The Rangers have tried to do this at times. I mean,
well, and ironically, we're naming the last 5 champions.
That's true.
So you're right. Well, maybe
Sometimes
it does work. Sometimes it works, but I do think that it's a good point. Like you kind of got to build a team the right way at a certain point. Not bring. I mean, you know what the Yankees do? They'll probably bring in some an older guy who slugs and can't do the little things.
See, this is the problem, and again, to the victor goes the spoils, by the way. I mean, the Dodgers deserve to be celebrating. This was an unreal series. It validates 2020. It was for Dave Roberts, this was so important I think for Ohtani, even though he wasn't a huge factor because of his shoulder, just to start off a historic contract and a 10-year relationship with this fan base, to start it off being part of a championship team, just changes everything. It changes all the
A lot better
pressure.
than the Angels, yeah.
Yeah, never playing in a playoff game.
You know, he looked a little, I watched his postgame press conference. It felt like he was a little, I don't know, apart from it or disappointed. It just didn't feel like Freddie Freeman seemed like pure joy watching him, whereas Ohtani, probably because you couldn't hug him, you rip apart his shoulder. I don't know. It felt like there was something a little off about the whole Ohtani experience with this for me.
So I think there's a couple things. I think he's kind of notoriously a bit standoffish, but we also blame that a lot on Ipe, quite frankly. Remember the interpreter? He was kind of built this force field around Ohtani, and it was like the team and Ohtani had all this power and could do what he wants and does a separate workout from everybody else and has his own, like the Ohtani regimen is different than everyone else's. But then the Dodgers kind of went out of their way to say that wasn't the case this year. He was very much a part of the team, but maybe when you're hurt, you don't feel like yourself.
Yeah, that's what I sense. And also, too, let's be realistic. Like, he could have major shoulder surgery, which for a hitter like that, forget even pitching for now. For a hitter, that could keep you out 6 months. I'm very curious what they do. They'll get the pitching back, and again, they'll probably be 1 or 2. I mean, the Yankees and Dodgers should, if you look at the talent, they should be here next year, too. Like, this should be like the 70s. We should get 2 or 3 of these. It'd be fun.
But if I asked you, not just because of the result today that the Dodgers win, the Yankees lost, but if I asked you who had a better shot, you think, of getting back here next year?
With Dodgers, right?
Agree. I don't think people really believe in this Yankee team.
Unless there's no Shohei.
Well, we're far from that.
But you'll get Glass now and everybody back.
Well, but
you might have a full. But then again, the Dodgers have a knack of getting their entire pitching staff injured in 2 weeks every year.
Let's hear from Shohei Ohtani on winning the World Series. Obviously, this is through his interpreter.
I'm honored to be able to be part of a season where we played the longest, and to be able to, get to know this team as my first year and experience winning the World Series has been a tremendous honor.
More from Ohtani through the interpreter on playing with great players like Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman.
I really felt like the professionalism of the two players really stands out. And aside from the two players, I do feel like we had a really good lineup with a lot of good hitters, 1 through 9. And it really allowed me to elevate my game as well, not just technically, but also my professionalism.
I have a question for you. Who's really the face of this team?
Ohtani.
You don't think it's Freeman now or Betts?
I don't see it that way. To me, it's
Ohtani's a draw.
Yeah, to me, like, Freeman's like James Worthy, and he's Magic Johnson.
Got it.
You know, like Freeman, awesome clutch player, great player,
also Hall of Famer.
Yeah, but like,
not the top bill.
The world revolves around Magic and Ohtani.
855.
I mean, Ohtani's the face of baseball, but it just really stunk. And what did he hit in the World Series? It was like 120 or something.
Yeah, I'm sorry. 855-212-4227. We're also asking you, what will this World Series be remembered for? Is it going to be Freddie Freeman's heroics, or is it going to be the Yankees' implosion?
Can I ask a question that I kind of asked in the first segment,
yeah,
but remix it because I think I'm kind of realizing something? I feel like when we heard those guys talk about how much this meant considering what happened in 2020, how much they didn't get respect for that, I think Ohtani getting hurt is why they keep going back to that. I think they like, hey, man, like we didn't have like this juggernaut Ohtani that came in and just crushed everything. This was a lot of the same names besides Freeman that like won that 2020 championship that didn't get any credit. I kind of wonder if his injury also was making these guys go back to that, being like, we kept a lot of these same guys here. They've gone through a lot of crap, lost a lot of series, and we came back and won to show you that those guys in 2020 also were champions.
Like, I'm sorry, like I know a few of the guys that kept the lot of guys are gone.
Will Smith, Betts, Lux, a lot of, Bueller, right? He was on. A lot of their pitchers and a lot of those guys, the core of that team is there. Max Muncy,
and also Dave Roberts,
and of course Dave Roberts, who's been much maligned for his career as a Dodger manager.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if Mookie was still.
Yeah, no, he was there.
That was his first year there.
No, they traded Mookie in, was it 19?
I think that was his second year.
855-212-4227. Is it all about 2020? I don't know. I mean, I said I thought it validated it, but I think there's always going to be something about 2020 that I'm just never going to be able to get past.
Sorry, that was Mookie's first year, by the way.
By the way, yeah, I mean, the funny thing, so the baseball was ridiculous. The bubble title was not great. football was fine in 2020. We were all giving Tom Brady full credit for the Bucs, right?
Yeah, I think so. I thought football overcame a lot.
They had a longer season. That's what they were able to. Baseball,
They did the whole season.
Yeah, baseball, the shortness of the season gutted the stature of that title.
Yeah, by the way, not their fault. I mean,
Yeah,
it just
yeah.
so happened of when, COVID really broke out.
Right. But exactly. It's not, and you can't blame them for winning that title.
No,
But
I know.
I think we all agree it didn't prove what a normal title would.
Let's go to Will. He's in California. Will, will this World Series be remembered more for Freddie Freeman's heroics or the Yankees' implosion?
I think it's going to be remembered. And good morning, happy Halloween.
Thank you.
I think it's going to be remembered. This game is going to be remembered, and it's going to be played out, and there's going to be movies made. It had everything. It had all the elements. And yes, the Yankees blew it. They cracked that door open, and the Dodgers burst through it, and they came from way behind in a hostile stadium to win a close game. Just real quick, that throw by Volpe to third, he just made a bad throw. He threw to the right base. I'm sorry. And Derek Colt, who was pitching lights out, unbelievable. He should have been running to first, and if Rizzo had made a clean play at first, he would have waved him on that ground ball. He would have waved off Cole. Okay? Cole just didn't put himself in the right place. I think someday they might make a movie about games like this. It's always the underdog or the team that's behind. You never see movies about, the big bully or the team that's ahead, and barely coming out with a victory. No, it's always a team coming from behind, this hopeful, we can do it thing. It's like The Natural. And I think someday it'll play out. We'll remember those home runs.
It wasn't exactly Hoosiers, Will. It was. It wasn't exactly Hoosiers. I mean, it's the Los Angeles Dodgers, though.
Well, they didn't run the picket fence. I'll give you that.
Well, I think that's the point, right? We don't generally see, and thank you for the call. You don't really see a lot of movies where it's two Goliaths and who's the more Goliath of the Goliath.
Also, they were up 3-1 in the series. It wasn't like they came back from, they were up 3-0. Honestly, the movie would have been if the Yankees come back and won the series. Then we get a movie. There's no way the Dodgers finishing off a 3-0 lead is going to be movie worthy.
Well, I'm trying to think now. Is there a sports movie where the favorite wins? I mean, ladies and gentlemen, The Bronx is Burning is a book. The Yankees do win the World Series. Reggie Jackson is the hero, so that's kind of like the rich getting richer.
Rocky won.
Oh, yeah, Apollo wins.
Yeah, but that wasn't the point. Like, what's the one where it's like the feel-good move? You get Miracle was about the underdog winning is the movie thing.
No, but to your point, I guess Rocky 1 that would be the one, right?
Right, but they weren't celebrating like, oh my God, I'm so psyched that Apollo won. Like, the fact that Rocky hung in there was the underdog.
No, that's
story.
the point. Yes,
Yeah,
but the outcome was Apollo 1.
Is there a movie where it's just celebrating the favorite? That movie did not celebrate Apollo.
No, it was Rocky's story.
Yeah.
But
Where is there any movie, fictional or non-fictional, that celebrates the favorite? You're right. I don't think so.
I don't know.
Hoosiers, no. The Natural, no.
I mean, Notre Dame was a juggernaut, but that wasn't the story of Rudy.
Yeah, Rudy's the ultimate underdog story.
Right, but Notre Dame, he wasn't playing for Southwest East State University. He was playing for Notre Dame.
Yeah, and I don't think that particular team did anything. We got to find this. Is there...
I don't know if it exists, to be honest.
I mean,
I'm looking at the list of movies. It's hard.
It's a tough sell.
There's like no reason to root for the favorite.
And these were two favorites, basically.
Yeah, I mean, when I went to Sony and pitched the 2018 Golden State Warriors, I'm like, a little guy named Steph Curry and Kevin Durant. Yeah, it's not good viewing.
They were already great, and then they got the best players.
EJ, you're looking at a list. Is there anything even close?
I mean, again, the movies that have it are the movies that don't celebrate the team winning. So, like Friday Night Lights is another one where the favorite wins.
Yeah.
Carter wins the last game, even though.
But they go through such a.
But they're barely.
Knee injury.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about the book, the movie.
But you don't even know anything about the Carter team. Like that.
In the movie, they make it clear that Carter is like an NFL team. Like they're big, they're fast.
But right. But they're a side character in that.
Yes, no, for sure. It's rare. It doesn't really happen. Could you make that work?
No.
Well, there's a John Goodman played the Babe Ruth story. That was not good.
I've never seen it. 855-212-4227. All right, so there you go. Got it?
Ali.
Yep.
Well, he wasn't the favorite against Sonny Liston.
No. He wasn't really the favorite against Foreman either.
No. I just had one, but now I lost the movie when you said Ali. I'll find it in a second.
Boombayé. Field of Dreams, I was rooting for the ghosts the whole time.
I'm glad you could admit it now. You've been holding this one until the day we were dressed up in Halloween
so I have an
costumes.
interesting one that I think it could apply. What about American Underdog?
The Kurt Warner story?
The Rams were the favorites over the Titans.
Dude, it's called the American Underdog.
I know, but we're talking about in the Super Bowl, the Rams were the favorite, no question.
Over the Titans?
Yes.
Still, the movie's called American Underdog. That's your example of a favorite winning it?
Hey, man, I'm going by the strict line. What was the money line for that game? You knew it was Rams probably -5.
8 months before.
Oh, man. Yeah, there's a reason these don't exist. You can answer our question, what will this World Series be more remembered for? Freddie Freeman's heroics or Yankees implosion?
This will be a good 30 for 30. You could do a documentary on the series for sure. There'll be a lot of great stories.
Oh, documentaries on favorites are great. We got 10 episodes of Michael Jordan.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But this series too does feel like there's a lot of storylines for documentaries. I think those two yahoos in the right field.
Please don't give them a doc.
No, I'm saying they'll be part of the 30 for 30 on this, Judge going up and down, Shohei getting hurt. I'll bet you there's incredible behind-the-scenes footage of Ohtani trying to play. It's going to be awesome.
I have a question off of those two Yahoo fans, off of some news that we learned yesterday about one of the guys. We'll get to that next, Maggie and Perloff. All right, Perloff, baseball season over. Not a problem for us. We go right on to basketball and football combination, and that's where Prize Picks is awesome because they're the best place to get real money sports action when you watch football, basketball, whatever you want. Over 10 million members, billions of dollars in awarded winnings. Prize Pick has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. So how does it work? Simple. You pick 2 or more players across any sport, pick more or less on their projection, and you could win up to 100 times your money.
Yeah, the app's simple to use. You can't really lose because you have FlexPay, Maggie. So you can still cash out even if one of your picks doesn't hit. So, for example, remember I said on the show yesterday, I was going under on Freddie Freeman because I figured they would not pitch to him. Well, they did, and he went over. Anyway, I'll be back tonight. Trust me. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code MNP and get a $50 credit instantly when you play just $5. That's code MNP on Prize Picks to get a $50 credit instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks. Run your game. Must be present in certain states where it's lawful to wager. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
You're in a 4-minute break. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 2 minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. $45 seconds remaining. $30 seconds remaining. $15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
This portion of the show is sponsored by the new Hyundai 2025 Hyundai Tucson Hybrid that has class-leading advanced safety features like the available blind spot view monitor to make your ride more enjoyable. All right. Welcome back. Maggie and Perloff Halloween episode. Spooky. Of course, I am dressed like a 1980s offensive line coach in the NFL. Maggie's doing a killer slash.
I got to get my fake cigarette here, but I can't broadcast the show and also have the cigarette out of my mouth.
Do we have a guitar around here?
No, I didn't bring a guitar. I also thought it was funny when I told you guys I had fake cigarettes for my Halloween costume. Your first thought was sexy Jim Leland, which I filed away for next year.
I